So one of the next projects on the list is to redo the surface of this table. This is actually a concrete table and it's got a coating on the top, and unfortunately the sun has started to destroy it. So we're going to reseal the table with an epoxy resin with some grey and black pigments in it and see what it turns out like. So first thing we're going to do this morning is actually sand it and get this all nice and smooth and pull this top coat off that's there. So I've got some 60 grit on the sandpaper and we'll get stuck in and see how that goes. So the sander wasn't really doing the trick. It was too slow and it's not really cutting the mustard. So I went over to Reese's and borrowed, I knew he had this, which is it's a concrete polisher, and you just replace the pads and put different pads on it, and it's very much like sandpaper. So I've got a 150 on there at the moment, but it has water going through it as well, so it keeps the dust down and keeps it lubricated. So we're going to try that and see how that does on this. So that worked really well. Polished it off. You can still see the cracks. It's interesting, where the old stuff was actually there's cracks in the concrete underneath. So yeah, so that's the reason why it cracked in the first place. But anyway, we'll reseal up the table and put a new coat of epoxy on top, and it should look good as new. Okay, so we've got the table cleaned up, all the existing epoxy or whatever it was removed, and as you can see, where all the paint was cracking is actually where there's cracking in the concrete. That's alright, we can work with that. So the plan is, I've got a box of bits here. So first we're going to put this pave seal over the concrete top to seal it, and then we've got some goodies in this box. Mostly this stone coat top. It's an epoxy resin. There's a hardener and a resin part there. So we're going to put that on to seal the top in, and then we also have in this box a top coat that goes on top of it. So it's the ultimate top coat for a nice gloss top. So that's the plan there, and so that should tickle the table up and make it look good. So first thing let's do is let's get that pave seal over the top of it and get it looking all one colour. Right, so the table was sealed yesterday, but you can actually still see all the cracks in the concrete quite badly, and I don't want that to show up later on. Even though the resin will fill that up and it'll be smooth on top, you will still see that will come through because the resins are clear. So what I'm going to do next is just going to fill the cracks up with a bit of filler and then give the table another coat of grey. I think some of the reason for the streakiness, as you can see on the picture here, is that the actual table sucked up some of the paint and dried it quite quickly. So hopefully another coat, now that it's sealed, should fix the streakiness and it should all turn out one colour. So let's put some filler in and let that dry, and then we'll give it another coat. going to quickly give this a very light sand just to take some of the shine out. Right, so what we've got here is stone coat countertops epoxy, and what I've worked out is we need about 1.5 litres to do this. We have 2 litres here, so I'm going to mix up about 3/4 of this, and then I'm going to spread it out into 2 smaller cups as well, and we're going to use some silver as the main coat, and then we're going to add a black and a gold particles in these two as anyway. So we'll pour in 700 mils of 750 mils of the hardener, part B. Put about 200 mils of the product in these 2 containers, and so it's got about a litre, just over a litre and a bit. See the reflection off the thing, it's got a very glossy finish to it. Yep, there's a few imperfections, but it's looking pretty good. It's still going to cure for the next 2 or 3 hours, and it will level out a little bit more. But, and there's also, we're planning to put a top coat on this as well, but that looks pretty cool. So this is 2 days later from the coat that we put on. It's turned out pretty well. What you can see here is it looks very shiny here, doesn't look shiny up there, but as you move over you can see the speckles keep appearing as more you go over, which is very interesting. So when you're back here it only looks like there's speckles down here, but as you move forward there's speckles over the whole thing, which is quite cool. So the next thing to do is we're just going to give this a very, very light sand, so that, and then we're going to put the ultimate top coat on. So you need to just give a quick light sand, so that will stick, otherwise it's nothing to stick to. And there's a few bumps and bits, like there's a midgie or something in the coat there, so we'll just get that off and then we'll get the top coat on. So we're just going to quiver light sand with some 180 sandpaper, just so that the top coat has something to stick to. So I've shut the door to stop any dust coming in. So they say the first thing you need to do is put part A in and mix it up. This is one day later and the top coat is all dry. Now you're probably looking and saying, well, it's not as clear and see-through as it was with the top coat, and that's correct. So the top coat is, you don't have to put a top coat on, but this is an outdoor table and we wanted to basically be hard and durable wearing. You can still see the speckles quite well in it. As you can see, as you move up, you can still see them. But the beauty about this top coat is that it's extremely a hard wearing surface, and so give it 2 or 3 days, it'll be very hard and nothing will be able to scratch it, which is what we want for an outdoor table. So that's the reason why I put this on instead of leaving it as a nice clear see-through shiny top, which is good for inside but probably not so much for an outside. Anyway, so there's our table done. So I hope you liked this little project. So subscribe if you like more of it, like if you like more of this sort of stuff. So thanks a lot. Cheers.